know you spoke and said, well, damn. 10 months later, after you seen the interview and he was speaking highly of Rainwater. But now, Tye Harris is giving Rainwater the business. You want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
I keep salt for the leech. I was taught that y'all creep. Never thought that I was peeping. Cause you'll fall off with no defense. The ones that you love will deceive you. Yeah.
Tye Harris, the boy is not playing.
He's not.
Rainwater, Brandon, Rainwater. He does a lot of talking. Thing about Rain is there's two different Rains. It's the Rain on these bigger podcasts. Then you got the Rain that's jumps on the panel in the Mo3 sector. Like, I feel like, and that's just my synopsis when it comes down to it, man. When he get on some of these panels, you see the numbers go up. He knows he's the, everybody, this is Rain. He's coming on a panel. Everybody, the chat lights up. Everybody lights up in the chat. The guests, they all, Rain interview. It's like getting a little mini Rain interview whenever he comes over. And, hey, salute to the people doing their thing, man. In communication with that man when he pop up, because he gonna give you something to talk about. I will say that. He get a city something to talk about.
Yeah. One thing that I remember Tye speaking on in the interview was the character and the brand. And I want to ask you this. We've heard that going back to CW, Charleston.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, are we giving these people an excuse to tell us lies or to just entertain us when it should be the truth in certain situations, like the Mo3 case? The man lost his life, but then you hear Tye say Rainwater is the brand. Then he said, I'm just gonna call him Brandon because that's who he really is. When you see Rainwater or Brandon get up here on these interviews or these panels, and he say things that may be contradictory to what he said before, and someone give him the excuse, oh, that was just Rainwater speaking. Nah, I can't rock with that, man. What's your thoughts on that? Because I know if you've been following this case or if you just been listening to Rainwater talk, he has contradicted himself a few times, bro.
Well, specifically, I would have to know what specifically.
I'll give you one.
Okay.
One time he said Mo3 called him when he was running from those people. The other time he said he called Mo3. Two different interviews. And I wish I had them lined up right now. I'll show you.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, if they talked in both essences, then it's one of them things. I can't speak on it, but they talked. How they talked, I don't know. He said one time this time, he said other time that time. So in that case, I mean, yeah, there's clear contradiction, but they did talk, so.
Another one. He did an interview with what's the guy who was a part of the Young Dolph case, who beat the little case. He did an interview with
Govin,
yeah,
Hernandez
Govin.
Yeah.
He said Mo3 is a studio gangster. And I swear, not maybe 3 minutes later into that interview, he said, well, Mo3 is a gangster.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so in the same sentence, you're going to say he's a studio gangster? And he came up with some old lame ass excuse on why he said what he said.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
It's hard to believe that dude, bro.
And I do remember that when he did say that. which I think I responded to that as, that's the smartest thing he could say is that Mo3 is a studio gangster with this case going on. Um, but far as Mo3 and his gangster, what level gangster was he? He from here, he from there, he from McKinney, he from where he from and what he was really, did he choose this or was this just like, man, look, it's
But
hard. It's hard to
look,
decipher. It's hard to decipher through the bullshit of this whole case because almost everybody in it has said something different at some point in time. Um, I know the things that have been said on paperwork, and those things I can maybe run with. But far as what he get up on these interviews and say, can you take Rain for surface level on everything? No.
well, he gonna be a suspect in my eyes just because of what you just said. On the Tye Harris interview, man, he said a lot, and I know. I guess we'll start where he actually was managed by Rainwater. When he came out with the song "Came Up," I think he had spoke about that. I think at that point, I don't even know if he trusted Rainwater then, but he said someone spoke for him and spoke to his people, so they went ahead and did the song. I know you spoke and said, well, damn, 10 months later, after you seen the interview and he was speaking highly of Rainwater. But now
Yeah.
Tye Harris is giving Rainwater the business. You want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
Well, that's going back to that Boss Talk interview he did where he was, Rain gonna be Rain, man. But this guy's done this, about this, that for the city, and was talking highly of him. Of course, came out a year ago. This interview I'm talking about came out 10 months ago on Boss Talk TV, Boss Talk Radio, and we get what we get now. But we all know how Rain talk, and when he get it in his bag, and when he get in that bag, man, and yeah, and Tye Harris, when he talks about Rain in the sense of what made him flip or what made him change or what made him or why he's mad, he constantly in that interview with was it Smooth Vega or
Yeah.
Smooth, he constantly goes back to the like I did a deal over here. I don't think I can't remember him actually saying Mo3 contractually was managing him. For me, it kind of came off like they was
Mo3?
doing no. Tye Harris and Rainwater. Like he contractually managed by Rainwater. And I get the feeling he wasn't. If he was, I don't know. But he do talk about like when it come to Rainwater, um, his success being the reason why he didn't or why he's mad. He's mad because he went over here and did another deal, or went over here and did this show, or something that wasn't through Rainwater, and that's the reason why Tye Harris is mad, or that's the reason why Rainwater is mad because he went and did this with such and such, and then he went into the whole psychoanalysis of Brandon Rainwater, which I thought was kind of laughable. I'm not gonna lie, but I get where
Nah.
they were going. I get where they were going. Neither one of us is a doctor. He said he got 10 years of being in mental care or something. So I get it. I get it. But to me, I kind of skipped past that part. I ain't gonna lie.
He actually did state, and he told us the reason why he stopped messing with Rainwater. Because, of course, we know Rainwater is, or he works off of beef, creating beef in the Dallas streets. You know what I'm saying? And he asked Tye to go against New Dallas. And Tye said, like, for what? Like, really, for what? I have no issues with none of those guys. And he said, Rain replied, like, oh, man, you acting like a such and such, such and such. And, man, fuck that. I'll put 50 on your head. This is what Tye Harris said.
Yeah.
I think at that point, you know, now you threatening my life, my family life, and my well-being.
Right.
That is a reason to leave somebody alone. So when you
Very
speak
true.
about contracts, maybe they weren't in a contract. Maybe this was vocalized. He said, I'm gonna work with you, I'm gonna help you get to this place at this point. Maybe they haven't signed the contract yet, because I don't think you can just end a contract like that. Oh, you said this to me, I'm done with you. End of the contract. No, it doesn't work like that. So I believe they probably didn't sign any paperwork yet. And I'm pretty sure he's glad he did. But to me, that sounds like some shit. I don't know Rainwater personally, but from what I hear from so many different people, it sounds like Rainwater to me.
Yeah, sound like some bitch ass nigga shit going on when it come to Rainwater. Type shit that I hear where it's like, man, I am not gonna go there, but I will say, far as Tye Harris, talent wise, he's a phenom. I will give him the title of phenom out here in Dallas. Phenom level talent. As you know, talent doesn't mean success. So
that's facts.
It's got to be packaged a certain way. Rainwater knows a certain way. He knows a certain way. That's what he knows. So, you know, when you speak about, hey, him telling Tye Harris, hey, go at these guys, you know, that's what he know.
But let's be honest, is that good for the culture, though?
It's not good for the culture. It's good for the numbers, but it's not good
we
for the
talking
culture.
about somebody who just lost their life probably with some bullshit like that, bro. Like, you haven't, to me, that says you really don't give two shits that Mo3 lost his life due to beef, and now you're trying to tell another potential client or artist that you may manage, which it didn't happen, to do the same fucking thing for him to lose his life. Come on, bro. That just shows where your mind is. And of course, a manager wants to get paid, but it has to come at the cost of somebody's life? No, man, it's a better way, bro.
Yeah, and the contradiction that I do see when you hear him on interviews talking about Mo3, and when he says, well, I don't know if it's a clear contradiction, but he's noted a lot of the times for saying Mo3 was gonna do this regardless. That's the type of nigga he was. I couldn't stop him from doing it, because, you know, people always ask him. I've seen him ask this 50 times, and he answers the same way every time. As far as asking a question, did you do anything or say anything to Mo3 to stop him from going at these other rappers or try to, you know, cool his head or anything? And he said every single time I've heard him ask this, he responds with, hell, Mo3 a grown ass man. I can't just stop him from doing that.
But he's a studio gangster.
Well, that's what a studio gangster would do, is continue to beef. But so he basically said but then with Tye Harris, he wanted, and we've heard of many other instances where, you know, he's, I guess, wanting people to be, I guess Tye Harris said he wanted him to get in a beef with Trap and all, or Trap Boy Freddy and stuff. Both of those things don't line up, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you saying on one end, that's...
I just don't believe he tried to stop Mo3 at all. Of course, he's going to
think Mo3 could be stopped?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And to be honest with you, you know, you listen to the Jossie interview, you know, she felt that he was a gangster too. It's like, she didn't think that was gonna happen to him because the way he spoke with her, like, man, fuck these niggas, ain't gonna do shit to me, and she believed him. So I will say this about Rainwater: if no, matter of fact, you remember we talked about the last video with Duro and why that song, why he had problems putting that song out, right?
Yeah.
Listen to the interview with Tye Harris, and he didn't go into details, but from what Tye said, he threatened that man. Like, when I say him, talking about Duro. Is that a coincidence or what, bro? Hell no, ain't no coincidence. When Duro come and say and write this little monologue up under his video on the struggles he had to put the song out, and then we see an interview with Tye Harris talking to the other guy saying he threatened this man's life. Can you put two and two together and figure out why?
Yeah, I mean it's clear as day. When it comes to Rain, what is legal? What is not legal? Is it illegal to be a bitch ass nigga? I hate to say it like that.
It's not, but it's illegal to threaten. It's illegal to threaten somebody's life.
It's illegal to threaten somebody's life. Well,
yeah. If it's said in front of the wrong person, like law enforcement or whatever, yeah, they can use that against you, bro. But if it's said amongst just two individuals in one room, then it's your word against theirs. You know, but who knows? It's just street shit, and we know Duro said in that little paragraph under the video, he said, "I don't want this song to be about that shoot 'em up shit." That wasn't who he was, bro. That's not who Tye Harris is.
Right.
And I think that's why Tye got such a big issue with Rainwater, because if I ain't calling Rainwater an OG because I don't even think he's that old, but we trying to push the new Dallas or Dallas music, period, to the forefront, and you're trying to push it out there in the wrong way. And I know you disagree with that just like I do, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get Tye Harris saying the same thing that you get Duro saying. They said the same thing. Tye Harris said, "Hey, if we do this came up song, you know, we gonna have it. We not gonna have none of that shooting up." You hear Duro in his description box say, "Look, I told Mo3 myself, if we do this song, it's not gonna be no shoot 'em up shit." So, yeah, and to be honest, that's the one reason why Duro or Tye Harris will never be as big as Mo3 is because they not doing that. So that's the sad part about it.
Yeah, I can't argue with you on that. I can't. It's sad, but that holds a lot of truth to it. And you know, we spoke about, because I asked you, do you feel like this drill shit is slowly dying in Dallas? And I think you agreed with me and I said I feel like it is.
Yeah, to an extent, I do feel like it is. To an extent, I do feel like it is.
Who's popping right now that's rapping about something different?
I would say, for one, Tye Harris. I would say to an extent, Huncho Amir. I listen to his album. Man, he pushing that. He pushing for that new Dallas, man. He's doing it slightly different. I'll say slightly different than you hear from some of the other guys. So, and far as musically, there's OC Chris, which that he worked with Rainwater in the past as well. There's Himothy, this little Chinese boy, and they making actual music for the ladies and some other things like that. But there are some guys, but like I said with Duro and Tye Harris, you might not be as big if you're not beefing, if there ain't no case attached to you. If it ain't no case, ain't no bodies. If it ain't no active beef, no active bodies, no club fights and all this shit, and they just had the Z the Wizard shit where Z the Wizard, what happened with him. So it's one of them things. You either be positive and stay at a certain level, or you be with the fuck shit and
Yeah.
cloud it up.
I think Tye Harris, I believe he could be big. Now, speaking of Mo3 big, who knows? Maybe. I mean, I look at the chances and they are very slim because we know the rappers rap about the things the fans want to hear. And to me, if they don't get that anymore, drill rap will die in Texas. I think it's when it hit New York, just like I think Sean Cotton spoke about that.
Yeah, that drill rap shit went everywhere, man. Is
it still popping in New York? I don't think so.
I don't know. I know there's people doing it, but if it ain't no bodies attached, then you doing it all for nothing. You drilling for nothing. Yeah, people got to see something, man. 2026, we got to see a body around this motherfucker. Yeah. Anyway, man, look, there's gonna be more interviews to come when this Yellow Beezy trial hit. I'm pretty sure we'll get a single or something. You know, Rain, he say, hey, as soon as that trial start, man, I'm dropping the album. You know,
money. All he see is money. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the way you present it, it just seems so, so you don't have no empathy on this man's legacy. And you just talking about, I want this album to be number one. Yeah, just look at where you going about it. I'm gonna leave it alone, man.
Yeah, it's in bad taste. It's in bad taste for sure. But yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. That's Boss. I'm YJ. To be continued. We up out this thing, man.
It's a marathon, keep it going, racing to the finish. It's big business, just wait for the new one. In this lab, engineering classic.